story of two boys and the father they were forbidden to know. For 13 years, these baby photos were all that Thom Reddy had to remind him of his twin boys, Jason and Jeremy. A bitter divorce began a sad odyssey that would ultimately find the boys living with adopted parents. The boys never thought they'd see their dad again.
Little babies, don't you cry.
When Thom Reedy's three boys were young, he spent some of his happiest time singing them to sleep. But that was a long time ago. Today, the 42-year-old mobile home park manager plays a sad lullaby. He hasn't seen his boys for 12 years. Ironically, it all began when he tried to protect them. In the autumn of 1976, police got an urgent call. Thom Reedy was charging his ex-wife with child neglect. He claimed he often found his children unattended while she was out running with a local biker gang. His oldest son, Jeff, was 6 at the time, and the twins, Jason and Jeremy, were only 2.
The kids were always in a state of unbathed, dirty. I felt like, what could I do? You know, that something had to be done.
Since Tom's former wife still had custody, the boys were taken by police to a foster home. Their social services planned to evaluate the situation. Thom hoped that in the end he would be granted custody.
You know, I knew that was going to really lead into something not so pleasant. And so those emotions just tore me apart. They took him away in a police car. I felt real sad. I felt really bad about it, but yet I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe this is the beginning of getting things right.
Later that day, Tom's ex-wife was arrested and charged with child neglect. Soon after her arrest, Thom was attacked at knife point by several men who were stalking him. He was stabbed repeatedly in the back until he lost consciousness.
Some people have speculated that attack was a retaliation for what I had done to the kid's mother, for turning her in for his neglect.
Yes, I'm trying to find my boys.
Thom spent 9 months in the hospital, recovering from his grievous injuries. During that time, he tried to locate his sons, but nobody would tell him where they had gone. Thom only knew that they had been placed in a foster home. His injuries had made it unlikely that he would be granted custody.
Make sure they're all together and everything's okay. I literally felt like I had my kids stolen from me. Finally, somebody let me know where they were. I talked to my doctor and they let me have a weekend furlough. Told him I had to go home and see my kids. He really didn't know the circumstances around that and probably thought the home was just, local there. But in reality, what I did is, with my back brace on and my cane, I sat on a freeway on-ramp and hitchhiked all the way to Barstow. And just went right up and knocked on the door.
Over the next few years, Thom visited his sons as often as possible. However, it was a temporary situation. When the foster family decided to adopt the boys, Thom was denied all access to them. Thom will never forget the last time they were all together.
Make the snowman here a little bit, you want it?
I thought it'd be fun to take them a load of snow. So I had a pickup truck full of snow. And I drove up in the driveway and they came out and we had a snowball fight. So they won. They got me good. I thought I was the old pro at it, but they showed me. We had a good time that day. I had this feeling inside my heart that I was going to be seeing them for a while. Something just told me that was going to be it for a little while. I don't know. Very hard to say goodbye. Because it seemed like they kind of knew too. A lot of hugs that day before I left.
boys' new adoptive parents told Thom it would be better for them if he never saw them again. In trying to save them from neglect, Thom had lost all of his rights as a father.
Had moments where I thought I just to let it go, you know. It's very sad. These boys were going to grow up and have a life of their own, and unfortunately I wasn't going to be a part of it.
5 years passed. Thom had no contact with his sons, but he continued to hope that someday they would be reunited.
Those feelings inside of me of being their father was actually going stronger. And I was determined that I'm going to see my boys.
Unknown to Thom, his sons felt the same way. They swore that someday they would find their father. When we return, we'll bring you the story of one family's triumph over separation. Reunion will be right back. After Thom Reedy had reported his ex-wife for neglecting his 3 sons, the boys were placed in a foster home. Thom's plans to get custody backfired when his sons were adopted by the foster family. During their years of separation, the boys made a vow they would one day find their father. When Thom's oldest son, Jeff, reached adolescence, he became so determined to find his father that he repeatedly ran away from home, only to wind up in detention centers. Finally, in December of 1984, the authorities contacted Thom and eventually awarded him custody of Jeff.
Jeff was determined to find me, and he did. First thing I told him was, I love you, son. He says, you know, Dad, I know you do. And I love you, too.
Thom and Jeff were committed to building a new life together, but they weren't a family without the twins.
Jeff felt the same way I did. He wanted to know what his brothers were doing. Also, he wanted to let them know that he's with me. They were on my mind every day. There was not a day that went by that I didn't think of my boys. And wonder what they were doing.
Jeff managed to put the 13-year-old twins in touch with their father.
First time I talked to him, my heart was beating. Couldn't really explain. It's just something that you're actually speaking your natural father stuff. And you've grown up knowing that you were adopted and wondering what happened to them and why.
And I made a promise to him that we'd get together. Just hang in there. Everything will work out all right.
But it was difficult even to talk on the phone. The calls were made secretly so the adoptive parents wouldn't find out. The twins were still forbidden to see their father.
I love you guys. You know, I missed you a lot.
3 more years passed. The twins were determined to see their father and became more and more rebellious. When their adoptive parents became frustrated with their behavior, they were sent to yet another foster home. Surprisingly, this proved to be a blessing in disguise, for their new parents supported them in their desire to see their natural father.
Once I get a chance to put my arms around him and give him a big hug and tell him I love him, I think all this hurt is going to disappear.
On Saturday, October 20th, 1990, Reunion accompanied Thom as he drove to the boys' new home in Napa, California. At his side was his second wife, Brenda. Thom's oldest son, Jeff, was unable to be there as he had been posted to active duty in the military.
Yes, I can see the numbers there. This one driveway is a this one.
Yeah, I nervous.
Oh, no, I'm scared to death. But I'm excited, though. This is great. I can't wait.
It was a crisp autumn day, very much like the day 14 years earlier when the police had taken the twins from Thom's life. But this time the situation was different.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Pick me up and throw me around.
Naturally, the first few moments were somewhat awkward, but Thom had a plan. By looking back into the past, through Thom's photo album, Thom and his sons began to build their way into the future.
This photo album gives us an opportunity to kind of reminisce from where we left off. And now here we are, you know, all this time, and we got the opportunity to pick up from here and go on.
When I saw him today and saw the pictures, it just really exciting. Right now I'm going to have a chance to have a father and me be his son again, being together.
I just want to be there for him now. I can't make up for the time we lost, but I can make the best of the time that we have ahead of us. That's what I'm going to do.
One of these days, you're gonna be a man, but we'll be together and you'll understand.
Jason, Jeremy, and Thom have vowed never to be apart again, a promise that they're sure to keep for the rest of their lives. We'll be right back.